Right, and this time we actually do have the first game for this team, which is Blasphemous, and it's more or less like least the type of game that this one would typically play, because A, it's very difficult, and B, it's practically kind of a modern, mostly fighting based platformer, so it's not exactly any easy one to play either, but it fits the overall style of the intended theme, so in that respect it certainly is in accordance with the overall theme of the month. It certainly is very Gothic in style and quite demanding to play overall, so in that respect also interesting, though it would say that the overall graphical style and the plot are somewhat like take Dark Souls and make it a 2D game, and that's pretty much what you end up with, both difficulty and source material wise, so in that respect would say that it's an interesting concept, but might not be the best thing ever in that respect. At least very probable is that we'll be doing one session only of this thing, having practiced it even a bit, because it's surprisingly difficult even comparatively. So let's see if, as mentioned in the description, like one may come and see this one expire a lot in the game and possibly also enjoy the unique atmosphere of the game, one might say. So let's move towards the game gradually here and see. There we go. It is kind of what one might consider an extremist design in more than one sense, namely it actually plays only in 640/480, which is kind of like very limited resolution, and actually if you try. Oh, hello there, Tiga, great to see you here, and you of course get a wave. And yes, it's kind of overall subject matter and style of the game are very Gothic in nature, and it's also very extremist design in that it's unforgivingly it's 640/480 only. It actually, if you choose a bigger window size or full screen, unless you choose a scaler, it actually plays at real 640/480, so it doesn't even give any consideration to, for example, ensuring that it would play in any other resolution, and the scaler is not pixel perfect. If you choose pixel perfect, it actually is only a small bit in the middle of the window, so it plays in 640/480 window. So let's start the game and see about the unique qualities overall. Like it even has an introduction that is very Gothic in overall style. And of course, as you may have noticed, there are also the special things for the month, namely it's a castle, and it was supposed to be a bat, but searched for like royalty-free bat, and it came up with that. This one thing it's not a bat, but that's what put there, because search for royalty-free bat gave us this. And as mentioned, the game is very extremist in design, in terms of also that it looks like it's from 1993 or so, and it also plays about like it is from 1993 or so.
And thus, guilt, repentance, mourning, and every pain of the soul of all kind were visibly and tangibly manifested.
And the overall difficulty level, there are no difficulty settings, it's only one difficulty level, which is difficult.
In the form of blessing and grace, sometime in the form of punishment and corruption. That divine will, equally pious and cruel, which we could not and will never be able to unravel, was called the miracle.
There are not that many cutscenes proper as far as Tess did it earlier, so. And how has Tigatron been doing, of course? Good to see you here as always. Alright, and here we are. We push F to pay our respects and or stand up. Then we get instructions, but we already pretty much know how to play the game, at least if we remember correctly. Yes, it's kind of a platformer. And this is kind of like a save/restore point. There we go. It's some kind of altar tail-wise. And then we get the first boss. And this is actually was difficult enough that fought this several times without any success. It's like you should dodge a lot and whatever, but it tends to be very difficult. Usually for some reason jumping up below it seems to help a bit. Or not. Also getting behind it if one knows how is useful, because you can keep hitting it while not taking damage. Alright, we even succeeded the first time, which is nice considering tried like 4 or 5 times the first time. And then, as said, the game is kind of there was content warning for reasons, because as said, this is rather Gothic in style and or somewhat gory, so added content warning after testing this. There we go, we beat the first boss. This time even the first time, so practice clearly has paid off, at least a bit. Then we have another cutscene, or kind of like semi-cutscene, both on discussion and view for a moment. By the way, how is it overall working in the sense that seem to be according to the statistics like all the time dropping approximately 40% of all frames? How watchable it is, like is it usable or should like try to do something about it? Unsure what, because we had some fancy network changes and since then have had various issues. This time not like breaking the whole stream every few minutes. Now it's like seem to drop 40% of all frames all the time, so it's at least hello there, Jax, great to see you here. And if it's like watchable, not going to change anything because do know that it usually prioritizes sound, so it should be alright. Let's continue the dialogue here. And then also very interesting looking herald tells us what we should be looking for, like very cryptic instructions.
It is a remote place separated from the even a wise penitent like me knows nothing of what lies beyond. However, what I do know is that according to the rule, one of them must be performed in the high mountains.
So we must go to high mountains and dark entombed church, and then last one includes an iron spiral and whatever. These all of course probably include another boss fight, which is also difficult. In general, the overall symbolism in the game is rather doing pretty well, thank you, Jax. Had an alright weekend and was traveling for work all of last week, so good to be back here. Alright, if it only cuts off for a moment every once in a while, then we are not trying to do anything about this, because this shouldn't be such a high bitrate, so wondering why we are dropping like 40% of all frames. It seems to have gotten better for now though, so if we drop less frames then it's of course better. And yeah, then we have a thorn to put into the handle of our sword, which may wound us. And we have acquired a thorn. Unsure if it has to be used, like... Yeah, it seems to have fixed itself, which is of course nice. So we should most probably check the inventory and try and use the thorn. Yeah, you get this explanation again. Was not really what was after, but the inventory. So we have only the thorn, and apparently the text is of course very design-wise not very user-friendly, because it's like very dark text on a black background. I believe we are then using it like to get the miracle, whatever that is. And here we have another save point, so it was not in vain. And now we again have full like health and full health potions, so you do not have to buy those. You get 2 and you can later on find an empty flask that gives you more. So yeah, it seems we are not dropping any frames anymore, so this has improved considerably. And how have you been, Jax, yourself this weekend? So let's then continue. Fortunately there are the save points, so this is at least a little bit less stringent. This is difficult because you are supposed to parry here, and overall the parry requires really precise timing and do not most of the time get it right. There we actually saw getting it right. You have to, when they are about to hit you with the wagon wheel, which is an interesting choice of weapon, you have to parry, and the right timing is really strict. It's like immediately when they lift it to hit you have to parry, and it works like probably a few frames where you have to do the parry, so it's not the easiest, not by far. Alright, 2 exams. Oh. Hopefully your breathing improves. It's never good, like asthma is very unpleasant. Alright, and we didn't parry the right time. Here we can use the terrain to our advantage. There we go. At least we did pretty well in that screen. There are a few more. This is kind of annoying because then you move slowly and you have the corpses that try to hit you. Open the inventory and equip it. Verdict of the Forbidden Hamlet. Alright, and then we have text that tells what this does, which is also really dark. The UI design is kind of like, let's put very dark gold text on a black background. Let's equip it, unsure still what it exactly does, the prayer, because the text is so dark. But yes, we have a prayer. Q, alright. Alright. That's nice. So that was quite easy to explain what it does. It actually does plenty of combat. That was something new. Alright. At least we got rid of the guy with the wagon wheel. And on we go. This isn't exactly the kind of game this one would usually play, because it's both a platformer and kind of like Souls-like rolled into one. It's difficult, and in addition it has considerable kind of like platforming content, so it's an interesting game style-wise, but And still do not most of the time get the parrying right, so kind of would be nice to succeed better with that. But the timing is like very stringent. Here we can at least jump, so we do not have to. Alright, this isn't good. And we can't even get back there. We would have to go the other way, and there are the kind of would have to be where the corpse is there. At least we got there. Alright. Then we would have to hit Shift and K, and this never got really right, because there should be a way to and then fall there, which isn't the best thing either. Yes, we know the Child of Moonlight, which we have to collect 38 of, so we are not very far in those terms. And the prayer actually, no, it affects those a bit, but would be nice to have a bit more. And now if we would get that jump right. Yes, and then it's very possible we die here, but let's try. So we have to get rid of those bolts. And of course, try to remember to parry. Alright. And then we have another guy with the, of course, parry the wrong time. Alright. Got rid of him. And then we have a long path with the... Alright, that wasn't the one with the corpses. So we actually made it through this level. Yes. The overall kind of graphical and technical merit of the game is considerable, but it's quite extremist in terms of the difficulty. Yes, we know we can use the map. Our map doesn't look that nice yet, though. It hasn't branched a single time yet in the overall progression of the game. And we also do think we could see here how much we have completed of the game, which was like very little. And yes, this fills everything, which is the most merciful thing in this whole game, is that the save points also fill all the things you have, which makes it a lot more playable. You do not have to collect anything or such. And then we find another special, like kind of Brotherhood of Kissers of Wounds, who are kind of like healers, and they also ask for something to be found out for them.
Time outside these walls passes by strangely. In sunder, but if your penance happens to carry you,
But if your penance happens to carry you under said skies, be so kind as to bring us some ingredients for our ointments. And then they do not really specify what they need. We could also visit the cellar, but tested the cellar and there was nobody to talk to even. There we would have another of those, but not totally sure how to get up there. Thou hast called upon the Winds of the Order at the True Shrine, alright? In this place we gather remains of those who were separated and forgotten, so we can grant them holy burial as our charitable rule prescribes. Very well. Order blesses you. Thank you. Then we have of course that, which is some kind of trick you most probably can somehow get up there. There's a platform there. Can we climb up here somehow? Yes. Lion skull, right. Oh. Let's try to read that. Equip rosary beads in your rosary to improve the characteristics of the penitent one. Find additional beads to increase the number of beads you can equip. Additional knots, alright, that's even more unfortunate thematically. Yes, so that probably does something useful. Do we equip it from the inventory? Yes. Increases defenses. Very well. We can currently apparently equip 2 things there. Alright, and it seems we have more viewers, so welcome all new viewers also. We are playing Dark Souls converted into a 2D platformer that looks like it's from the 1990s. So you also get a wave and we try to get further. At least this game is style-wise very well done, but it's both difficult to play and not very. Alright, so requires jumping at the right time to. Not quite. And then we have to walk back every time. Fortunately, it's. Ah, nice. So you actually do commissions to make like knives proper also. Alright, and then we again try to. This should be possible, but probably requires something further movement-wise. Let's try at least a few times, because that would be quite important for all game progress to get that thing released. That worked even better. Yeah, that's very nice. Should ask you about more about that sometime. Might well consider commissioning you maybe. But yes, yeah, it looks like an old game. It's been really designed to look like early 1990s game, as said, this is more or less like you take Dark Souls both thematically and difficulty-wise and convert it into a 2D game from early 1990s. It's very pure design-wise, but it's also really, really difficult. Let's see if we take more. Nope. At least currently do not really know if that can be done, so let's see if we can do something else useful. You have acquired something. Phalanx of Param, the Gravedigger. Apparently that's just a collectible, so it won't do much for gameplay. It's more like a lore item. It's a good hobby though, to know about your crafting. It's always very nice to see people make things. Wasteland of the Buried Churches. Yeah, appears there's a broken church in the background. And then we are again. Alright, there's some kind of opponent with a very large hammer. We should again most probably dodge, which never we succeeded doing at the right time. Right, and there's a big hole, so let's jump over that. We even succeeded at... Ouch! That went very well. The difficulty level is very high because the hit throws you back so much that you actually... Alright, and we are all the way back here, so let's keep walking. Yeah, the difficulty level is very high, so this we already know, and we couldn't reach the thing, at least do not yet know how. And then we reach the wasteland, and then we again contemplate fighting and of course parry at the wrong time. Alright, win one. At least we got rid of it, so that's nice. Alright, we made it at least through one part of this. Alright. At least these are not breakable. Alright, health potion please, and then we get up there and wonder what kind of opponent awaits us. It has a shield, which of course doesn't look... Actually it's not terribly difficult despite owning a shield, but it has a lot of energy, it seems. We most probably have to jump and attack it from behind. Nope, that didn't help. Like, can we even hit it meaningfully, or does it? This probably requires something. Is he even killable? Moderately suspicious not, so let's climb the ladder instead. This guy we know we can beat. So we always parry at the wrong time. And then we expired. Yeah, the graphics are nice. The difficulty level just is very high. We are going to play this for the usual 1.5 hours, as we give one session at least for game, and most probably it will be the only one for this game. Having already tested and practiced, find this quite... this is very elegant. It has a lot of Gothic style to it, and it simply is too difficult to play. Do know that some are very good with this kind of games, because it's basically old school platformer with very specific style to it, but unfortunately this one isn't really the one who plays this kind of games well, so would actually recommend this game most probably overall to someone who likes this genre, because this is specific kind of a game. We parried and even then fly back. Ouch. Alright. Alright. There we go. And we made it at least to the... Yeah, unsure if you can really do much about the guys with the shields. Because it seems that you can't really get behind them. If you go behind them, they just turn around immediately, so let's rather take the ladder. Alright, then we can fix things a bit here. There we go. We recovered the guild, which is like if you die, your amount of that. Alright, there are spears there, so we have to make precise jump. Good. Then we have to fall down here, which still do not really know how to do. Not that way, the other way. Yes, and then once again. Let's try to have like both health potions left when we get to the cathedral. The main issue is that the spikes and such are insta-kill. Also the difficulty level in general reflects like the period the game looks like. It's amusing that these guys with the big, very big thing. Yups, what? even if you parry successfully, they still throw you back a lot, so. Alright, there we go. Now we made it better to the cathedral, but we still again have to try and succeed with all of these things. Apparently the guys with the shields are simply not possible to kill to suspect. There we go. Then we again get into trouble with the spikes. And then we would have to succeed at falling down to the platform, which for some reason have been unable to do reliably. Let's hang here for a moment. Have to go to bed. Alright, another stream. There will be one tomorrow, certainly, like fishing or hunting game to relax. So after this game, certainly necessary to relax. So would say that good night to you, and hopefully you sleep well, and thanks for joining, Jax. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream and the style of the game, which is quite unique. Would say it's a nice game. Graphically nice game, atmosphere wise not so nice game, difficulty wise. It's like it's very difficult and not really the kind of game for this one. So we still would want to get down there, but for some reason the control scheme for that has really evaded this one. There we go, and now we at least can like keep getting into more trouble. They don't turn immediately, so can we actually get rid of them if we... Yes. Now we have time to try to fall. Alright. We did it. Nice. So we get to go further. Alright, there's like something behind this door. And there's also stair even more downwards. Which would have a save point? That would be nice to know. Let's try here. We can do this again and again if needed. Yes, we learned how to dispatch of these, so that also helps a little. There we go. there's another exit. Alright, and where does this go? There's at least some pretty big guy here, which is never a good thing. Yep, like most of the energy. That was not easy either. Most probably would have to dodge there with the left shift. That's a long way to go. Again. Yes, so we go. Still unsure what kind of tactic would be required to reach that, but fortunately we can like come and go at will. So let's keep moving. That was kind of like speed run. Got moderately tired of fighting the guys with the hammers because it doesn't really bring that much benefit there, so speed run. And here we are going to try to fight and beat them. Which seems to be going alright, at least at some point. There we go. At least there clearly is a learning curve. Now we also know that there's the really big guy downstairs, so let's try this place now. Little bit of speed running. Alright, there's also only the guy with the shield, so we know that we can beat them with at least some level of trying. There we go. Alright, we have the stone thrower here, so let's get done with them first. Alright, kind of also jumping puzzles. Out. And here we again can go downstairs. To guess that these would be actually the three churches that the prophecy earlier on mentioned, so we would actually probably have to visit all of these. Alright, there's a gap on the bridge. And then we again have to fight pretty much everyone all of the time. Yes. The overall level of like insta-deaths is admirable. Apparently you can pet the dog. By far the best thing. Do not think the dog was there before. We must have been doing something right as we can pet the dog. How have other viewers had their weekend go? Alright, beat them without damage. We can actually get away from the attack. Not quite what intended to do. Alright. Alright, first time have been able to do that. That's like the fatality of this game. You can push E to execute if your opponent is stunned. As said, this is kind of stylistically pretty rough. We should be able to now climb the ladder. Alright. Alright. There was the dog only that single time, but we did pet it, so at least would imagine petting the dog brings more of good luck than ill fortune. Right, and then we have hammer. Oh. We can't quite hit them from above like could hit the hammer, but clearly that doesn't cut it, so again kind of like it feels like that was not what intended to do, but oh well. That was not either what intended to do. Alright, good. Somehow trying to do everything correctly and do nothing of the like, which doesn't seem to be too uncommon. And in this case in turn got like perfect fight, so it then feels kind of like trying and failing. Alright, these went well, and now we get a bit more also. Get rid of guilt so we can do more attacks. And then our favorite, the spikes. Alright, now we got some leverage on him at least. There we go. Then once again. Let's go and try the big guy again, kind of unsure what we need to do about him, so let's try the kind of dodge there. Alright, there we go. Whatever is the obstacle here, we would have to destroy that, but needs to come from below, so it's kind of apparently a way back. Alright. Practice makes perfect, but it would be nice to have more health. We can't break these, and apparently can't break the stained glass either. Alright, we also get more guilt back here. Let's try the prayer with this guy, so at least cause some damage. We can't quite. It's like, no, we hit him. Wonder how many hits he can take. At least more than we could. Yeah, this part of the game gets even more difficult, so doesn't really help us in this respect. So we still have like about 25 minutes remaining, so let's keep trying. Unsure what this is. It looks like a... Ah, hello there, Camus. You of course get a wave. We are playing Blasphemous, which is something like take Dark Souls and make it a 2D game that looks like it is from 1990s. This is also quite extremist design. It actually plays in only 640x480 resolution and nothing else. If you Blasphemous, it's kind of like Gothic styled platformer action game, as said, like convert Dark Souls into 2D game that runs only on 640x480 and make it today, and this is pretty much Blasphemous. And of course you get Wave, also our good bat. And as you can see, we actually tried to team the stream with the bat, but this one typed into Google royalty free bat, and you can see what we got. So that's royalty free bat for you. Unsure how Google thinks that royalty free bat is a ferret, but it's a bat. We have a castle and a bat, so it's very Gothic. Alright, this time we didn't quite succeed at jumping over them while they were. Alright, they expired. Good enough. Yeah, close enough, one might say. Yeah, there should be. Would imagine, because it's the month for such things, so whole month of bats, just think about that. Alright, that didn't quite work, but there we go. Ah yeah, more spooky Kamuniak or there we go. Ah, Halloween bat. Nice, nice. There we go. Finally learned kind of like the correct strategy with the shield guys, and then we have the big guy, which we do not really know what to do about. At least we get the guild back here. We can actually run from them. Unsure how much that helps. He's quite tough. Alright. We can't, do not think we can either jump over him if we run from him when he's about to hit and keep hitting him. We can't run far enough if we try to hit more than once. And that went wrong, so... Does he reset? Yes. That's one merciful thing, like. Confusing. Let's have the other health potion. He actually backtracks if he thinks you have given up. Interesting. Now let's run up to him, put a hit in. Also could use the prayer to do a bit of damage. Nope. He does huge amount of damage if you let him hit at all. Yeah. It's actually hard because you can't always run away, so that's not really the way to defeat them either. Alright. We have about 15 minutes remaining, so let's keep going. So I would say, Kaamu, that this is actually kind of very classical style of game, and it's quite stylish, but it's terribly hard, as is also quite usual for the period. Let's see, is there anything interesting we can do down here, except fall to the spikes? Not much. Alright, we kind of lost the opportunity to execute, but it is what it is. Yeah, learning the right strategy, those are quite easy to do. If we could also get onto the ladder, there we go. There we go. Strategy matters. This we didn't quite, unfortunately, succeed at. Alright, we should also add health a bit. There we go. That was probably least pleasant. Pushed the dash button by accident and went to the spikes. Insta kill. Yeah, it's not the most forgiving game. Let's check the map. We even know a bit of the map by now. And seem to have completed like a bit of the game. Alright. Alright, and on we go. At least we have been climbing the learning curve, so compared to the practice, do feel that might give this game another session. So that's an improvement. Not doing terribly well here, so let's jump across both and then start fighting them from a bit better position. Alright. And health potion, please. Still a good spot to be in overall. We got this far and maybe this time not fall into the spikes. Alright. Guild lowered. Alright, that went otherwise correctly, but we were I have not seen bats in this game. Other flying things though, but I don't think have seen any bats yet. And then we have the big guy down there, but let's for a chance take the other way for something at least a bit different. Alright. There would be an item there. Getting there requires moving a bit more, so let's see. Alright, that didn't really work because he can hit us when we are. He's going to expire now, so. Alright, got rid of him. The stone thrower do not think we can reach from this direction. But from here we can, so. Alright. We got one of those, which is nice. because those count for the whole game. Do not have much health, but at least we have no spiders either, as far as I've seen. Alright. Unfortunately we do not have more health, so this is kind of losing around very soon also. We can even go through here without going downstairs. There's also upstairs, interesting. Let's see what we find upstairs and probably expire there. Alright, so a little bit of jumping. Then we have 2 of the shield guys. As long as they move like that, it makes it a bit more difficult, because we can't necessarily get behind one of them after they have attacked. Or we actually can, as long as we can't jump over both of them, so that makes it a bit more difficult. And we have like 1 point of health remaining, so alright, we killed 1. It helps a lot. And we killed the other one. We have like 1 millimeter of health, so that isn't exactly helping us. Let's climb up here. Alright, this looks quite tough. We have ladders, we have spikes, we have platforms. Looks dangerous. There are doors, like there's door also here. It's some kind of ashes, doesn't look very promising. Where olive trees wither. This is actually a winter place. Interesting. New places, so the map should show us more. Let's see. Yes. The game is actually quite... And this looks a lot like... The winter landscape especially looks a lot like an Amiga game, do you think? It looks very nice. Wall climbing. Alright. Press K when jumping against certain surfaces to thrust your sword into the wall. Alright. Yes. Just requires a bit higher jump. Yes. Wow, we found a save point. So now we can have full health and full health potions, so that's very nice. There's something to find even here. Another collectible, so that's not like going to get us much further in the game. Alright, there's another climbable wall, so we have to jump there and thrust sword in. Again, new kind of dexterity required. There we go.
Contrite and humiliated be heart. Penitent one in silence.
You stand before what remains of Gemino, alright.
Do not fret for me. The cold is merciful, for it relieves our pain and numbs us before it leads us to our deaths.
Alright, yes, cold certainly relieves pain and numbs before it leads to our deaths.
The others spoke of has come to me, here in this iron tomb, lengthening distress more and more.
Alright.
To a promised land you direct your march, to the place where the frozen and the burning embrace in communion.
To a promised land you direct your march, to the place where the frozen and the burning embrace in communion. Alright.
Ask of you the favor of bringing me a few drops of the oils that once came out of these icy
A lot of text again.
the ones that ended up scorching as my last wish before it is too late for me. Let me feel that pain. Take this. Now,
Empty golden thimble.
become another branch of this withered olive tree. Hurry up. I can still hear the call.
Alright, what are we supposed to do with this? Can we use the item? Empty golden thimble. Quest item. Only cold gold can carry the redeeming oil. Alright, that's quite cryptic again, like what do you do with that? The style of the game is impeccable, but not much else. Alright, here we have some kind of new opponents even. Someone has also been hung from the tree, frozen. Alright, he wasn't the toughest opponent ever because we could beat them from below. Yep. We would have had to stick the sword to the wall, but of course pushed the wrong time. Fortunately, the save point is closer. Here we already know and have the golden thimble. Whatever we can do with that. There we go. Much better to not expire. Really dark. Garlic, alright. Quest item also. Good. Not much else apparently possible to do here in the dark, as there's nothing else, seems. Alright, we can climb further from there. Alright, and we have the stone throwers, they are not good. Ouch. Yeah. We should probably jump to the other direction, try to dispatch of them. There we go. This would have been where the bridge would have led. Can we just jump up there? No. Right. So let's continue climbing this way. Is there anything we can actually accomplish here? Alright, there's another of those, but probably again a tall order. Let's move this direction. Alright, that's special. Like some kind of worm. Alright, we beat it even though. Let's have a health potion at that rate. This has gone surprisingly well in the Snowland, but of course as he... Alright, another one. Eep. Plenty of stuff we have here. How do we even attack that? Alright. It was interesting. Let's check map. Yeah, quite a bit of things here. But yes, we are at 1.5 hours, and considering the overall game and time of the day, let's exit the main menu, and progress is saved automatically, so let's switch here and see who we can raid. We have played 1.5 hours of Blasphemous, and most probably we will not be playing this immediately next. Again, it's quite difficult, but it's very elegant, quite beautifully done game despite the difficulty, so we will be returning also to this during this month, and it's very Gothic, so in that respect would also consider it successful. So let's see who we can raid. So who's playing what? Bramble Squirrel is playing some old Zelda game. It's been a while since we have gone for Bramble, so let's see. Bramble started some time ago, so let's see if they are still going, and if they are, let's give Bramble a go. It would seem they are still playing. Let's see. Yes, they are still playing, so let's go for our good violet squirrel. So thank you all for joining tonight for the first game of the Gothic Appreciation Month with the ferret and the castle included. Blasphemous, which was not necessarily the easiest game in the overall among things this month, but very stylish. So thank you for joining. Good night. See you most probably tomorrow, and let's go for the raid. See you tomorrow for some, let's see if we play the hunter or fishing game, because some relaxation after that is certainly a good idea. So see you tomorrow.